My gosh. Okay. Five, four, three, two, one, go. I know you see somehow the world's gonna change for me and feel so. Okay, this is not the point of this.
Everything's okay right here. You should stay right here. We should lay right here.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sage Diary. This is a little series that I'm starting so I can talk about literally anything that I want to talk about. And yeah, share my experiences in life, talk about my opinions, my feelings, this and that, a little bit of everything, as unfiltered as I can try to be. So, yeah, if you're joining me, welcome. My name is Viola Naniso. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm really excited to have you back to this new chapter. And yeah, let's get right into it, I guess. A little disclaimer, there is someone who is working against me who just decided to start doing construction around the same time I decided to film this video. So if you hear some banging or some noises once in a while, it is whoever is next door. And I tried waiting for a little bit, but they're not stopping. And I just want to film this video before the sun goes down. So the show must go on. Recently, I have been thinking a lot. I think when I say recently, I mean over the last few months because this has been going on and on and on. And I think it was kind of set into motion by me graduating because graduating, yes, we love that. We love her. But the stress that comes when you're not a student anymore, like, hello? Like, why did no one explain like everything that comes when you actually have to figure life out and get jobs and become a working class citizen? I pay taxes now. I pay taxes and I barely have a job. Like, what do you actually mean? I had a conversation not too long ago with my sisters where I was just saying, "Oh, now that um I'm done with school. I have no excuse not to do every single thing I've ever said that I would do. I can finally do it." And my sister, this is Vanessa. I have Vanessa Chichi. And Vanessa literally just told me to shut up because she was like, at this point, they have heard me talking about everything that I want to do. And I never actually do anything because I don't know. I just have this need to be ready to start something like this. I have been postponing doing this for the longest time, and I'm not sure why. It's not like I necessarily needed anything to start just sitting down and talking to a camera, but I have just been making excuses. And today, I'm just tired. I'm tired of myself, and I just want to get things done and to finally just start putting my goals, make prioritizing my goals. Maybe that's how to put it. And yeah, so I guess this is how we get into this, and this is how we got here. So the other day I was watching, I think it was the Billboard, something on the Billboard channel, and it was an interview where it was Shelly from Love Island interviewing Ira Star. And Ira Star, I love her down. I love Ira Star so much. Her fashion, her music, she is so artistic, and I honestly believe she is so incredibly underrated. Like, she should have Grammys on Grammys by now, but I guess it's not her time. I don't know what it is. And I bring this up because when I was watching the interview, I love Shelly as well, by the way. I really love that girl. I love her vibe, her personality. I loved it on Love Island. I didn't want to watch the season, then I ended up watching it anyways because it was literally everywhere. And I was like, ugh, might as well form an opinion for myself. And when I watched it, I really was drawn to Shelly and her as well. I genuinely feel like she's so underrated because I expected so much for her after she came off the show. And God bless, she is doing like her big one in her own sense. Like, I actually really resonate with her because she's doing a little bit of modeling, a little bit of hosting, which are things that I really would like to get into as well. I'm going off on a tangent. My point is, when I was watching this interview, it was so nice seeing the two of them interact because one thing I really like about them is that they both have this really calm energy where it seems like they might not be like at the top of the world right now in terms of like success and accomplishments, but it's like they're both so reassured in themselves because they know who they are and they know where they're going, and they know that in their own timing and in God's timing they're going to get to the point that they need to be in life. And this just reminded me of myself in a way where it's like I have so many dreams and I have so many goals. I want to do so much in this one little lifetime that we're given. And when I'm on my own, I feel like it is possible. I feel like, okay, I like the fact that I'm at this stage in my life. I'm in my early 20s. I am literally in Europe, in the heart of Europe, in Brussels, discovering myself, learning more about who I am as a person, and I'm growing. And one day I'm going to accomplish every single goal that I've ever wanted to achieve. And when that time comes, I will be like ready. I see this. Ah, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe the banging is not that loud. If it is, again, I apologize. But yeah. I see this stage of my life right now as me laying a foundation, me creating kind of I don't know, a base, like the roots. I feel like my roots were me being born and raised in Zim, my upbringing, everything. And now it's like the tree is starting to grow. And there's a part of me that wants the tree, or let me think of it more as, yeah, it's a tree, to grow and have branches and leaves immediately. But I always have to remind myself that that is not the case. Great things take time. And I just need to keep pouring and watering myself and ensure that I'm doing what I need to do to grow, and I'll get where I need to be. But the thing is, with social media comes a lot of comparison, whether we like it or not. I took kind of a long break from social media for a really long time. I think I had months off TikTok, which I recently downloaded, and quite a while off Instagram as well, also re-downloaded recently. And I found that before that, I was doing really well. I was figuring myself out, my style, my just what I like and how I want to present myself into the world, like how I want to make content, how I want to edit videos, how I want to just do everything. And the moment I came back, even if it wasn't my intention, seeing people online doing well in life, it does something to you because you scroll once, okay, second video, third video. By the time you spend about 15 minutes online, you're feeling as if you could be doing literally so many things in your life, and you feel like you're running out of time, and you feel like, oh, I need to accomplish this today immediately, when I get that you could be doing something, or you is me kind of speaking to me, but if it applies to you too, I guess if the shoe fits, wear it. But yeah, this is me talking to myself. But yeah, you really could be doing so much and putting in so much effort to improve yourself. And maybe you are at the time, but the moment you see someone else doing something, you feel like, okay, maybe I'm not doing enough. I feel like in this world, it is so important to take a step back and to just be in the quiet, like literally be in the calm and just embrace the fact that we all have different timings in life. And just because someone does start something today and they succeed tomorrow, it doesn't mean that the same is going to apply for you. And you just need to be so okay with that and just accept that we are walking different parts in this lifetime. And yeah, like that has kind of helped me just focus back on myself and realize that as long as I'm doing what I need to do, then I'm going to be okay. And that kind of ties into this one analogy that I saw on Substack. I don't remember the words verbatim, but whoever posted it was giving the example of a train. And they were saying that in life, people say, what's for you, you'll never miss. But she was kind of explaining that you can miss it because if you think of the opportunity as a train, if you don't go to the train station, if you don't go to the right platform, if you don't wake up, if you don't do this, that train will pass you by and it will literally just move on to the next city that it's going to. So, the one thing that you can do in this lifetime is make sure that you are doing every possible thing that you need to be doing so that the moment that your train is at a certain platform, you're ready, you're standing there waiting with your luggage packed, and you get on that train. and you go and live your best life of success and happiness and fulfillment. And that is kind of what I've been telling myself, because if I don't actually motivate myself to do the things that I need to do to grow and improve myself as a person, the train is going to come and I'm going to miss it. And the last thing I want for myself is to be some old woman in a nursing home or wherever I'm going to be when I'm old, thinking about all the things that I could have done when I was young and all the opportunities that I missed. So right now, I'm ready to lock in and just to show up for myself in a way that I haven't before. And yeah, like that is where I am at this moment in life. I think the more that I think of it, a big part of the reason why I haven't really like been putting in effort over the past few years is I somehow let social media convince me that, I don't know if it's social media or it's people, whoever it is, I let some voices get into my head and implant the idea that there is something embarrassing about trying, something embarrassing about trying to improve yourself or to put yourself out there and to show up. And, like I remember this one time, I know she didn't mean it in a bad way, but there's a friend of mine that compared the idea of girls these days that are trying to be influencers to the idea of a guy who says he's a rapper, but his music is just on SoundCloud. And that that little statement on its own made me feel like deleting all my social media. And it's not as if I am trying to become an influencer. I don't think necessarily that is my goal, but just the idea of putting yourself out on social media, it's usually the first thing people perceive is that you must be trying to make it in that way, which is cool. That's great for those that are doing it. But the idea that someone might perceive me making effort as that made me feel sick to my stomach. And I was like, okay, nope, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. And I hate that for myself because I feel like, how am I so concerned with what other people think of me that I am putting off things that I have on my own vision board or on my own ambition list just because I don't want people to look at me and think like, oh, she's trying, or oh, she's getting this many views or this many likes. Like, who cares? Who literally gives a flying rat's? Yeah, I'm trying to keep it cute, but like, who cares? Because at the end of the day, like, you're never gonna know what something could have been if you don't actually get up one day and try to do something. Like, you will always wonder. And the last thing, again, I will say is regret is like a painful, painful thing. Like Miss Marilyn once said, like I used to, when I was in high school, my room was like Marilyn Monroe themed because I was just obsessed with the idea that someone back in her time, she wasn't the beauty standard at that time, I guess, body wise, and to me she's iconic, cool, but at the time she was something outside of the norm, and she just managed to just like create a name for herself by just being who she is in this lifetime. And for her to still be remembered so many years after that, it says something to me. And I really was just this little girl in Zim who had a big poster of her on my wall in my room, and I had quotes of hers everywhere because they really spoke to me. And one that I really used to live by, it was, what is it? Fear is stupid, so are regrets. It's better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring. And I agree with that because, yeah, it ties into another quote she said where it's like, boring women rarely make history. And it's not to say like, okay, be boring, da da da. Okay, I can't even ignore the banging myself. Like, the disrespect is unmatched, unreal. Ndikujairirwa. Like, apa vakunyasundi jairira chaibo chaibo. I look tea though. I like how I'm looking. I think it's a bit calmer now. I'm trying to remember exactly what my train of thought was, but It's I probably like had to stop for like 10 minutes, so forgive me if it's a bit scattered. But yeah, Marilyn. I think I was talking about Marilyn. I think growing up, I always found myself drawn to people that seemed to make a name for themselves and just were brave enough to put themselves out there, because it is not easy to just go against the grain and to stand out and to unapologetically be yourself, which is another reason that I think from a young age, I have always loved Miss Robin Fenty. Like, Robin, because we homegirls, like, we don't know her like I know her. But I think I don't remember how old I was the first time I saw her on TV, but I literally fell in love with her because I was like, wow, I wanted my family to move us to Los Angeles because I knew I wanted to be a star just like her. Same vibe I got when I watched Disney Kids and people like Zendaya shake it up back in the day. I watched Miss Rocky and I was like, that is me. I am her. Like, I resonate with her. I have always been so drawn to these people that make a name for themselves by just being so authentically and unapologetically who they are, because that literally is the only way that you will ever be anything in this lifetime. Because if you think of it, we live in a day and age where literally everything is a trend. Like, you go on social media and you scroll and everyone wants to live the exact same life. There's like the same aesthetic for how we're meant to dress, like makeup, how we're supposed to do our hair, how we are, you know. And if you don't fit in that, you're kind of looked at as if you are weird, quite frankly. And for a while, I think I let that kind of get in my head a bit, because it's hard to try and form your own identity when there's literally the whole of social media trying to tell you who you should be in this lifetime. And life is short. Listen, life is literally so short for us to try and box ourselves in based on an idea that I don't know who created, but someone out there just decided that this is what is appealing. Life is too short, because at the end of the day, literally no one is you, and that is your power. And the only way you're ever going to win in life is by being yourself as authentically and honestly as you can possibly be, because you can never be replicated as an individual. And if you try and fit into boxes created by other people, you lose the most important part about who you are by trying to conform to society standards. And I feel like at this moment in time, like I say we because I'm speaking to myself, but if you resonate, you resonate. This is like literally what I tell myself when I try and just like get myself to do things I've always wanted to do. But we are at this time in life where you literally need to put yourself first, in the sense of being bold and being fearless and putting yourself first in terms of achieving the goals that you have always wanted to achieve. Because the last thing that you want is to watch other people getting exactly what you know you could have gotten if you had put your heart to it. I saw someone not too long ago talking about how there is someone out there who is achieving or who is getting everything that you could have gotten, and not because they have more talent than you or they are better than you, simply because they have the audacity to actually go for it. And I am trying each and every day to remind myself of that, because I know my value, I know my worth, I know who I am, I know what I'm good at. And the moment that I allow other people's voices to fill my head, I start to shrink myself and I try to make myself less visible and less seen. And I think I've been doing that for so many years. I don't know if it's the voices of my friends, in quotes, at the time, or men, or whoever it is, but I have let people make me feel like being less seen is better for who I am. And that is just not the case, because, honey, like, ever since I was a kid, I knew I was meant to be a star. Like, what star is meant to be hidden and dimmed and like put under a bushel, like to not be seen? Like, what star is going to shine when it is dimmed and like in environments where it is not allowed to show up as its brightest? And I've been reminding myself of that each and every day. Like, I'm tired of trying to make myself small to feel like, I don't know why I've been doing it, to be honest. I don't know what it is, the reason is. I don't know. But I read this Bible verse recently. Everything is recent, okay? Like there's a lot of things that have been going on in my life, okay? So everything is recent. But I read this Bible verse and I've known it for a while, but somehow I think it's the phase or the chapter of my life I'm in. It really resonated with me. And it's something about no one lights a light. I guess no one lights a candle, let's say, and hides it behind something. Like you like turn on the light or you light the candle and you put it in the open for it to like shine light on everything else. And I think it's followed up with something about a city on a hill not being able to be hidden. If you literally build your house on the top of the hill, everyone is going to see it. And I feel like that relates to just you as a person, as an individual. You are a light that is not meant to be hidden. You are a city that should be shining up on a hill and seen by everyone in your best and most authentic form. And the moment that you try and hide yourself and dim your light, you are literally doing a disservice to you as a person and to God who created you. Because I'm sorry, if I was an artist and I created art, I would want to put it in a museum or somewhere for everyone to see. Like, how dare you try and dim your own light and hide yourself and put the painting under the bed? Like, in what world does that make sense, you know? And I've started thinking about that and applying it to myself as a person. And I feel like just trying to be myself in the best possible way, the way I show up, the way I dress. Like so many times I have felt like I like these like nice extravagant coats. I like to have big voluminous hair, but you cannot go outside with flashy, not flashy, but like things of that nature, let's say, and not have people looking at you. And for so long, I was like, okay, I don't want to go outside and have every single person looking at me like I'm crazy. Then I realized like people are literally looking at me anyways, regardless of whether I'm wearing the most basic clothes or like something that stands out. People are looking, and it's not in like a way where I'm saying, "Oh yeah, everyone's looking at me," but like they are gonna look regardless of what you do. So you might as well show up in the best possible way that you possibly can and be the version of you that you want to be, because life is short. Life is short, and as long as you are being true to yourself, respecting your boundaries, honoring your values, like you deserve to be bold and fearless and show up in a way that makes you proud. Because one day, when you think back to the life that you lived, you want to be able to smile and you want to be able to feel grateful for all the opportunities that you took and the risks and the audacity that you like that you had to just show up and create the life that you want. Because really, that little quote about what you're not changing, you're choosing, it is true. If you choose to just watch your life go by on autopilot and do nothing, that is what will happen. But like, it is, we're not doing that in that day and age anymore, in this day and age anymore. And I feel like, yeah, this is what's been on my mind, okay? And I wanted to say this as a reminder to myself, because one day, if I ever watch this video again and I'm feeling down and I don't have motivation, I want to look back and know that, like, at the end of the day, the power is within you. No one is you, and that is your power. Like, the moment that you decide to be yourself authentically, regardless of who is looking at you, who is watching you, you have already won in life, because there is nothing in this world greater than someone that believes in themselves, in who they are, and who God created them to be in this lifetime. And the moment you tap into that, like, you're a star. Like, you are a star. I have a few fears. One of those is literally, I always say to my sisters, but I really fear shameless people. This is going off on a tangent a little bit, but yes, I know that it is 2020, whatever year we live in, and things have changed. But whatever happened to shame? Bring back shame, because there's a difference between having audacity and not having shame. I digress. Another big fear of mine is one day being in a situation where literally every single thing that I've ever wanted, every dream, everything I've ever dreamt of is literally staring at me right in my face, and I can reach out and grab it. But I have not done the work that I need to be to actually like realize that dream and take that opportunity and make it happen with longevity and success and all those things. And I feel like I would despise myself if I ever let it get to that point. And that's how I think of it with this whole like train thing about missing the train if you're not at the right platform. It could happen like that too. Like you get to the train station, the train is there, but you forgot your luggage and now you have to go back. Like no train is waiting for you to go back and get your luggage. Like the train is going. It's going. So yeah, strongly I believe, and I've been trying to remind myself each and every day when I look in the mirror, when I wash my face. Sometimes I talk to myself when I'm in the shower, but the least I can do is remind myself that you owe it to yourself to become everything that you ever imagined, everything that you ever dreamed of. You owe it to yourself to become the star that you always knew you were, how great you ever imagined you could be. You owe it to yourself and to the little version of you to become that girl, the girl that you could look up to when you were younger. And yeah, you just have to believe in yourself and actually take the steps that you need to be to become that version of yourself, whether it means waking up early every day, reading a lot, practicing random things that you want to improve, but just putting yourself out there and stepping out of your comfort zone and authentically just existing as the person that you are meant to be. Again, I cannot stress that enough, because we really do live in in a world of clones, I wanted to say, and I get so frustrated by it. And I think for that reason, I want to just try and be myself, regardless of who is watching me or who is looking or how it looks to people. And yeah, yeah. And just trust in my timing, the timing of my life, and God's timing. And yeah, one day when that train comes, that damn train again, it's stuck in my head. Okay, I read that little train analogy and it has not left my mind since. But one day when that train comes, I want to be at the right platform and I want to be waiting for it and I want to be ready. So each and every day, I just want to choose myself, and not in a selfish way, because yeah, I know a lot of people are like, yes, be selfish, but like I don't believe that's a way to win in life either. Like what happened to kindness and just like consideration and empathy? Like how about that? But anyways, I want to just choose myself and respect my own boundaries, my own ambitions, and choose to show up in ways that I haven't before, because I'll be damned if this is my peak in life. Ooh, child. We have work to do, honey. So yeah, I guess that's it for today. And yeah, I guess this wraps up. They're testing me. I almost at this point want to go and knock on the door and just ask them like who sent them and who's working against me, because they have not done this any other day. I guess it's just like a mini rant, but they have not done this any other day. And I guess this is a sign about how in life, when you actually decide to show up for yourself and to be who you said you would be, there's always things that are going to try and stand in your way and try and stop you. But you choose if you want to keep moving forward or to let that thing derail you from your path. And yes, today I chose to keep going. So if you hear the banging again, I apologize, but we had to keep the show going, child. Just let me conclude the video in peace. Nah, man. Like Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of the Sage Diary. I am really, really glad that I managed to get through this. Still fighting with the construction next door, but I'm glad that I just got this done, and I can't wait to do more of these where, yeah, it's just going to be something different every single time. Just, yeah, and yeah, I guess God bless. Thank you, and I will see you in the next episode.
Everything's okay right here.